Hi everyone, how are you all today? So I'm going to read another of my favourite Michael Rosen poems actually. They're called poems, but really it's more like a short story the way it's written. And I absolutely love them. I've been working in schools, I've worked in 5 different schools, and I have been a teacher for a very long time, over 30 years. And all through those schools, I have carried Michael Rosen poems and stories, and I've read them to children, and I absolutely love them. This is quite a long one, and it's one of my absolute favourites. It's called Eddie and the Car. The stupidest thing I have ever done happened in France. We were going to have a picnic, so we were driving along the road in our little yellow Renault 4. Have you ever seen a Renault 4? It's like a square tin box. If you lean on it, the walls are so thin your hand goes straight through the side of the car. We were off to have a picnic. Have you noticed how long it takes parents to make their minds up where to stop for a picnic? It takes us longer to find where to have the picnic than it takes to eat it. We stop, we get out, we spread the sheet, we unload the boxes and bags and bottles, we sit down and it's... What's that? What on earth could smell like that? A dead dog? Okay, everyone, back in the car, drive on. We stop, we get out, we spread the sheet, we unload the boxes, the bags and the bottles, we sit down and it's wasps, hundreds of them. Okay, everyone, back in the car, drive on. In the end, we got to this perfect place, backed the car up a little slope, laid everything out on the ground, sat down. Eddie, do you want some chicken? Nah. Eddie, do you want some crisps? Nah. A drink? Nah. Right, well, you toddle off and leave us to eat in peace. So, Eddie, who was 3 at the time, walked off to the car and he got into the back seat. He looked out the window and called, "Look at me! I'm in the car!" Joe, who was 7, looks over and starts giggling back at Eddie. "Look at Eddie, Dad," says Joe. "Turn round, Joe. Don't take any notice of him. It only encourages him. Turn round." Then Eddie climbed into the front seat of the car. He grabbed hold of the steering wheel and shouted, "Look at me! I'm driving!" And Joe says, "Look at Eddie, Dad. He's driving." I say, "Turn round, Joe. Don't take any notice of him. It only encourages him. Turn round." We went on eating. Then Joe looked up and said, "Dad, the car's moving." I said, "Don't be silly, Joe." And I turned round to look at the car. He was right. The car was moving slowly down the slope towards the road with Eddie at the wheel. He is screaming, "The car's moving! The car's moving!" Now, if you're a sensible, intelligent person at this moment, you might perhaps go over to the car, open the door, get Eddie out, jump in, jam on the brakes and stop the car. That would be the sensible thing to do. Slightly less sensible, but still quite sensible, would be to go over to the car, open the door, get Eddie out, close the door and wave goodbye to the car. At least Eddie would be safe. What I did was try to stop the car. I rushed over, grabbed hold of the pillar between the 2 doors and tried to stop the car going down the slope. Eddie was screaming out the window, "The car's moving!" And I'm grunting back at him, "I know it's moving." All the time the car is moving down the slope and I'm hanging on. On the roof of the car is a tray of peaches. So Joe is calling out, "Dad, look at the peaches. The peaches are flying off the roof of the car." And I'm saying, "Never mind the peaches." And Eddie is shouting, "The car's moving. I know it's moving." Now, I know that what we've got coming up next is the road. So I think it will be flatter there. The car will slow down. I'll be able to stop the car. We get to the road. The car doesn't slow down. I'm not able to stop the car. "Dad, look at the peaches. Never mind the peaches. The car's moving. I know it's moving." We are now heading for a 12-foot ditch. The car nosedives down the ditch with me still hanging on. It bounces once, twice, onto its nose and lands up, stuck head first in a hedge, with its wheels spinning in the air. I opened the door, grabbed hold of Eddie, got him out, and he jumped into his mum's arms and bit her. He sunk his teeth right into her arm. Joe is walking around saying, "Look at the peaches! Look at the peaches!" Eddie is okay. Now, to get the car out of the hedge. Get in, start up, into reverse, and nothing. The little yellow Renault 4 has front-wheel drive. The front wheels are turning over and over and over in mid-air, and nothing else is moving. What to do? I got out the car and looked round, and there is no one anywhere. We're in the middle of the French countryside. We're stuck in a hedge miles from home. Then I looked again. Up the road I could see in a field someone's backside. A man was bending down digging potatoes. So I ran up the road and spoke to him. "Excusez-moi, monsieur, je suis anglais et je suis stupide." I am English and I am stupid. And my little boy got on the front seat of the car and the car went down a hill and bloop, it stuck. The second man stood up. The man stood up, not the second man, sorry, and slowly wagged his finger at me. Jamais, jamais, jamais. Never, never, never. Never let a child onto the front seat of a car they can easily... Yes, I know that now, I said. But how do I get the car out? He then raised both hands by his side and said, "Boof." This is French for, "I haven't got a clue. You're on your own, mate." Try it. Raise both your arms by your side, hands upwards, and as you say it, puff your cheeks out. Boof. Try it. Boof. So now what? Far away in the distance, I see a man ploughing a field. So I started off running up the road towards him. As I'm running along, I start to realise that I'm wearing only my underpants. When we'd had the picnic, I thought I would sunbathe. So here I am, running down the road in my pants. No matter, must press on. As I got nearer to the field where the man was ploughing, I started thinking, how do you get someone to stop ploughing a field? So I climbed over the fence and stood in front of the tractor, held up both my hands and started waving. I don't suppose the farmer had ever seen a large hairy bloke in his underpants standing in front of his tractor waving his hands. But he brought the tractor up to me and stopped it, and he said, "Hein? Bien?" which is French for, "Well, have you got something to say or not? Or are you completely stupid?" As you say it, you have to nod your head upwards, leaving your mouth open after you've said it. The bien sounds like bang said through your nose. Try it. So, I said, "Excusez-moi, monsieur, je suis anglais et je suis stupide." I am English and I am stupid. And my little boy got onto the front seat of the car and the car went down a hill and bloop, it stuck. The man looked at me and slowly wagged his finger and said, "Jamais, jamais, jamais." Never, never, never let a child get into the front seat of a car because they can easily... Yeah, I know that now. But do you think you could help me? I could pay you. It would be very nice if... So, 3 hours later, after we'd had lunch, he came along with his tractor, his wife, his dog and a long chain. They tied the chain round the back bumper of the car and they pulled and they heaved and they heaved and they pulled, just like the story of the enormous turnip, and they pulled and they heaved the bumper right off the car. Thanks. Well, in the end, they got the little yellow Renault 4 out of the bush and out of the ditch. After we kicked it a few times, it worked. It was a bit difficult going round the corners, but it worked. We've got a photo of the little yellow Renault 4 stuck in the ditch in our photo album. It's great. It reminds me of the stupidest thing I have ever done.